Good morning. As Kaylee mentioned, I'm joined today by our data project manager, Will Hopping, who will be running the demos for us today, our Vice President of Customer Success, Jessica Hale, and I am your MC today, Brad Ganane. We're excited to talk to you about two product enhancements with our track product offering and a new data delivery mode. So the first two things we're going to talk about today on the product enhancement side live within our product that we call TRACK. So for those of you who don't know, TRACK stands for Trusted Rate Assessment Consortium. This consortium is a point of booking consortium where we're receiving rates from third-party logistics providers for what they're paying in the market on a daily basis. There's a little over $20 billion in annual freight spend that makes up this consortium. It includes dry van, refrigerated, and flatbed modes, over 700,000 OD pairs within North America, and KMA to KMA pairings. So the first thing we're going to talk to you about is an enhancement within, for our contributors, actually. So the contributors of Track, they are going to have access to a new product enhancement that we're coining My Track. So as we look through some examples here, Jessica, give us maybe a little overview of why we decided to create My Track and put it within our products within SONAR.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've been talking with our customers, and they are really wanting the ability to see where they have pricing power in the market. So if they're able to look at their own historical rates against the overall market, really gives them the idea of where they can place themselves in the market, where they have pricing power, and where they can kind of figure out what is the best route to kind of go to optimize their network.
Absolutely. And as we look at the screen here, we have an example. We're going to talk through Chicago to Atlanta, a dry van shipment. As we go through the screen, you're able to see a benchmark from the Track consortium of what's being paid today in the market. There in the top in the green. You've got annual RFP rates in the contract there below, and then My Track there up on the right. So what exactly makes up My Track?
Yeah. So our data team takes a look at the historical rates that you provide on a lane, and this My Track is for our track partners. So when we are receiving your data, we're able to look at the last 90 days and identify what you are paying in that given lane, and that is what you're seeing here in My Track. And being able to look at My Track with the market rate, our track spot rate, really gives you the ability to see where your power is. Are you above the market, below the market, and what you can kind of do to make sure that you're in line and making sure that you're making the best decision for a given lane. Absolutely.
And before we get into the next one here, Jessica, that we're going to talk through, that's a little bit more forward-looking. As far as My Track, when we talk about it, who is this really created for? Who's the kind of the end user that's making decisions here based on this type of information?
So My Track, as you can see, is in Market Dashboard, and Market Dashboard is a great tool for operational users on the floor. And in this example here, you can see that My Track is right over $1,200, and the track spot rate's $1,267, and the contract rate's $1,572. So you're really right in between our market rate and the contract long-term rate. But being able to look at those three things and identify where you can move the needle a little bit, where you can make sure that you are in the best position to service and to service your customer and make sure that you're winning on a lane.
Absolutely. And as we kind of wrap up this My Track product enhancement, Jessica, and we think about the contributors, really the point of contributing data is to be able to see additional levels of granularity, right? To get deeper insights into what is driving your decision-making process. So, as we kind of wrap up this view, this view is really meant to, as you're processing inbound, how do you react to inbound requests, and how do you make decisions based on the best accurate information at the point of the time you're trying to make a decision. So, again, to highlight that, having access to real-time buy rates, to annual RFP rates, and to what you've paid historically, so that you can make the best decision for that point in time. And as we transition to our next product enhancement, which we're really excited to talk about, it's an API product within Track. And we're going to have a few visuals here to show you guys of what it looks like, since it is an API product enhancement. We showed, hey, this is everything you need to be able to make a decision now. Now, what about the future when you're processing RFPs? When people are asking you, hey, can you quote something for this far down the line? This is really what this product and this is meant for. So, talk to us a little bit about, for the audience, why have we created Track forecasting? And we'll walk through a few examples of the different ways it can be utilized here in a minute.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've been talking with our customers, and they really have enjoyed our daily track rate and being able to see what the rate is now, and the ability to have the most near-term rate, since we receive our rates at the time of booking. But being able to look into the future, what are we going to pay 7 days from now? What are we going to pay 3 months from now? And really be able to hedge and make sure that you're not going to be overpaying or underpaying and your budget's in line. And that's where we created Track Forecast.
Absolutely. And in this example that we're looking at here, there's a couple different applications and different outputs actually that you can receive here as well. So the first one we're looking at is a Nashville to Dallas forecast on a 30-day basis. So, give us a little description of kind of what you can do with the 30-day, what are some of the inputs, and how can you utilize, this forecast on a 30-day basis?
Yeah, so our Track 30-day forecast is updated every single day for the 30 days in the future. So you can look at what the rate should be 3 days from now or 30 days from now. And being able to look at this trend and the directional movement of the forecast in the next 30 days is really for those like near-term spot market type rates. If you're getting offers for loads, or you have a new load coming in for the next week, what should that rate be? And make sure that you are not too high in the market or too low in the market. And this, was created with machine learning algorithm and being able to utilize the historical rate trends to predict seasonality in the future.
Yeah, and I think my favorite thing about this is the two different outputs that you can receive. So if you're trying to do discovery on a lane and say, hey, we've never done Nashville to Dallas, and we need a quote for that, and it goes live in 30 days in this example. You can receive a rate per mile output. You can also receive, which is, I think this is my favorite thing, a percentage change, increase or decrease based on that rate output, which I think is even more applicable as we get to the next one here in this next example of this 52-week option that we have. So talk to us a little bit, about why we've created, not only the 30-day daily updated, but also the 52-week.
Yeah, so like Brad said, we have two abilities to look into our forecast. We have an actual rate per mile for those lanes that maybe you don't run frequently, you're not sure what that rate should be, as well as a percent change over that time period, whether it's 1 day, 30 days, 52 weeks from now. You get to see the directional movement and what that forecast will be, and that really is able for you to utilize with your own historical rates, put it into an algorithm, help model, instead of actually looking at 52 weeks from now, it's going to be $1.50. It might be 52 weeks from now as a 10% increase, and you can use that with your own historical data to then produce a rate that fits your network on what you should be paying or charging in that market.
Definitely, and as we think, I think you kind of touched on it. The users of this that we'll typically see are, pricing analysts, procurement leaders, looking much further into the future, right?
Yeah, so RFPs in the future, from a pricing analyst standpoint, or if you're on the procurement team, making sure that your budgets are in line, making sure that you can help with your transportation spend. Anything that's more of that longer term approach you can use with the 52-week forecast, and that one's updated every week on Sundays, while the 30-day forecast is every single day. It's rewritten every day.
Absolutely. And So we've covered a user interface, product enhancement with MyTrack, the forecasting, primarily focused on as an API output right now. The next thing, or the last thing that we're going to cover here that's new for our SONAR products, we're going to go back to the future with this one. That's what I like to say. And we show, maybe before we jump into this, by a show of hands, who uses Excel? You know, daily, weekly. Yeah, I can see most hands. It's hard to see, but I can see most silhouette hands go up. So, you know, a lot of our customers today using a user interface or integrating APIs into Power BI, Tableau, TMS, whatever they might be. But we've now got another data delivery mode. So we're calling it the Excel plugin. Is kind of what we're coining this offering. And Jessica, you guys, I know on the customer success side, this has been something that's been asked for. It's been talked a lot about. There's a lot of people excited about this. You know, talk to us a little bit about, you know, why this is something that is going to be available and kind of what you can do with it.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is something that has been requested pretty sure since I started at least 5 years ago of how can I get the raw data. So we have multiple ways that you can view our data today. We have our UI, which is all the visuals inside of SONAR, being able to look at charts. We have our API, and historically that was the only way that you can receive our raw data. So when you're looking at going the API route, you really have to think about a lot more than just pulling API. You need tech resources, you need the time, you need to put it on the ability to actually get it done in a time frame that makes sense for the business. And now with Excel, anybody that has access to Excel can go into the Microsoft Store and look at the pull in the SONAR Excel plugin, and you're able to get all of our data that's in the API through a couple clicks, formulas to create, you know, a spreadsheet with every single rate output that you want, or you can create some sort of this dashboard type view, whether it's that you create internally, whether it's something that our customer success team helps create with you guys, to every day have a couple data points that you want to measure. Click enter, and there you go. Automatically pulls it right into Excel in the hands of people that are actually making the decisions on a day-to-day basis without having to go the tech resource route and spend money and time in development.
Definitely. And you know, a lot of the things we've talked about today on the product enhancement side are related to spot rates and rates in the truckload space. For those of you who don't know, SONAR is a multimodal data product offering. So there's ocean container volume, capacity data, there's intermodal data, there's a plethora of different data sets that are available at your fingertips that you now have the ability to pull through something that most people use every day in our industry, which is Excel. So we're super excited to get this in the hands, you know, of all of you, and you know, get it out there and get you using it. So we appreciate the time here today. Again, we're really excited about MyTrack for our contributors of Track to provide that additional layer of granularity for them in their decision-making process, Track forecasting API for every customer, and then the SONAR Excel plugin. So if you guys would like to talk to us more about this, our booth is right there. I don't think you can miss it. We'd be happy to discuss it with you, and we appreciate the time. Thank you. Have a good rest of the conference.